Okay, I got this Fane Medusa 150. It's a 4-ohm speaker. I got it loaded in this Red Bear combo EC with the grill on. It's not running into the combo. The combo is not on. I actually have an MKE 60 because this is one of the only amps I have that has a 4-ohm load on the back. So I have it loaded in there, and I'm using the 4-ohm loadout, using the speaker cable that's for the combo to run it into the back of the head. I got my pedal board ran through. I'm using this Agile 3100 MCC. I got it loaded with Gibson pickups. It's a 70s tribute in the bridge and a 59 tribute in the neck. Then I have, like, if it matters to all you gear junkies out there, I got Bumblebee Lux, Bumblebee capacitors, and then all the pots I have spec'd out to, well, the volumes I have spec'd out over 500K, some around like 509, I think, and 510 for the bridge and the volume. And then on the tone pots, they're a little lower. They're like 490 and 480 or something like that. So that's a bridge. There's no voice coil rub. I've had this for maybe like 2 or 3 years now. I can't remember exactly when I bought it, but I bought it off of Reverb. And it's in really good condition for being, I guess, as old as it is. I'm guessing it's from the 90s. There's no voice coil rub, like I said back here. Show up in that, you know, around that register of playing. It's not as loud. You can see that I have the preamp and the master almost at about 5 o'clock on the dial, or about noon on the dial if you want to go by a clock. So they're kind of straight up. It's not very loud because this cabinet is sitting on the ground, and you know, if I put this camera from my, you know, if I put my iPhone that I'm recording on lower, you'd be able to get more, and then it would start clipping because that's where all the sound is. So it's not as loud. Even though this amp does get really loud. It's still manageable because, like I said, it's on the ground, and it's just running, you know, straight up and down. It's running. If I take the sensitivity off, or sensitivity switch off, it gets a little quieter. So it's fairly loud for in here. It's just kind of the way this amp is. If I plug this into the 412 I have sitting right there, okay, it would be extremely loud at that volume. So this speaker has can suck up, I guess, soak up quite a bit of power. It has enough headroom. It doesn't break up. But it seems to soak up a lot of the wattage. Which is kind of a thing I noticed when I had it loaded, and the reason I bought it is I bought it for Marshall 5210, and it just seemed like it was too rich in the mid-range for that amp, at least what I was using at the time. Through this Red Bear is kind of like a Sovtek, I guess, clone. It's kind of similar circuit. It's kind of neutral with this amp, actually. Still kind of rich in that lower mid-range register. I've never really cranked it up. I imagine if you crank this up, it would definitely come alive. It seems like it's kind of dull, typical of like higher wattage speakers. It's really dull at lower volumes. When you crank it up, it probably opens up and gets really bright and probably comes alive. I'll switch on a gain, some overdrive. I'll test it with a governor. I just got one of these Marshall Governor reissues. So this is the Governor reissue. Seems kind of scooped for, I actually was using, this is the AT Plus clone from Demon Effects. So you can see it kind of works, sounds pretty good. One thing I noticed about it, it's really clear, and it translates whatever you're running through, and it kind of just amplifies what that's supposed to sound like. Particularly with these two pedals that you just heard, the Governor and this AT Plus, they're in that Marshall, modded Marshall kind of sound, and you could really hear, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but I can really hear in the room that it's, you know, the Marshall Governor seems really scooped to my ears in the mid-range. It's got kind of a thin sound, but it still punches, at least through a 412. You can feel the mids kind of punch through, and I can really hear what that, you know, through 112, what that sounds like amplified, and kind of what it really sounds like if you weren't running it through a 412, or if, you know, trying to hear, if you're hearing like what the actual voice of the pedal is, that kind of came through. And I kind of thought that that's how it was voiced. And then with the AT Plus clone, I had the original Andy Timmons, a JHS pedal, and they're very similar. I actually like this one a little bit better because it works a little better with my setup. It's not as, you know, the original JHS AT Plus is very dark, very warm, rich sounding. I'm guessing because, you know, Andy Timmons plays through some, you know, he's got a Strat style. It's probably really, really bright. So I imagine it's on the darker voice to complement that. The AT Plus clone that I got, it's brighter, so it works with my Les Pauls, I think, a little better. Still kind of dark, still kind of rich in that mid-range, but it seems to have a little bit more presence. One thing it just doesn't have is the sustain and the range that the real JHS AT Plus has. But enough of that. Very neutral sounding speaker to my ears. It does have kind of a notch, probably in the mid-range, but in that lower register. But I think it's pretty transparent, and it works to my ears fairly well. I just don't have anything. I'm selling because I don't have anything to run it in right now. You know, I got this 412 and I have a Marshall 212, and you know, they both take 16 ohm speakers. If this was 16 ohms, then I probably wouldn't be selling it because I'd like to experiment it with the other. Mixing it with the other speakers, but no voice coil rub on this that I can hear. It's fairly old, so it might be a little tired. I don't know. I think it sounds pretty good. It's really punchy. The low end to me is a little flubby, but I think that's just because this speaker is high wattage, and I think most of the high wattage speakers that I've used, that low end is kind of flubby till you crank them, you know, or, you know, use it as a boost. You know, use a gain channel on an amp and then use a boost, and they come alive. They want to be cranked and opened up before all those frequencies start shining and coming through. But other than that, I think it sounds great. You got any questions about it, just let me know on eBay or Reverb, and I'll get back to you as soon as I see the message. So until then, have a good day.